weekend, and we are experiencing some turbulence in Bitcoin price, in Ethereum price. Thus, the day started in red, Asia started to sell off, and in that moment when Bitcoin is at the bottom of the support line, Balancer is getting attacked. Balancer is a DeFi protocol where you can open pools and earn yield, or you can have earn fees from trading, and $116 million were drained from Balancer. We will talk about this later. Then we will talk about South Park coin that was launched 2 days ago, and we also talk about Polymarket and Puis by the PM of this country. Unfortunately, some of the videos are getting demonetized because of we mentioning some political figures. So I'm gonna try not to say some of the political figures names of this country, of the American country. And so there is a meme coin, and it was pumping on Halloween, and now we'll talk about this. But first, as always, let's look at a little bit of technical analysis. Let's see what's happening with Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana, because it's very important for us, and it will give us the full picture what's gonna happen with meme coins, with altcoins, and with majors. So Bitcoin, as always, we're still in the range. We are playing around, flirting with the support line. We touched it once, twice, and for the third time we are flirting with it. It's not clear whether we're gonna break it or not. So far, because it hasn't happened, it's not going to happen until it happens. It might sound stupid and obvious, but the price at 107, it doesn't mean that it's going to go below to 105 and $100 and even lower than that. The current price is where the market found its equilibrium. So look at it, that it's not necessarily going to break that support line. It hasn't broke it yet, and it's not going to unless it does. And because we are touching the support line more times, that's of course not a good sign. It makes the support line weaker, and after 3 touches, the support line becomes, it's more likely to break out the support. But until that happens, we are just ranging, and as scary it might be, that's actually the moments to buy and to again, there are some words I'm gonna try to filter my speech so that we are not getting demonetized by the algorithm. But it's time. Some people out there, they place their bet, they buy at these moments, let's put it that way, because I don't want any analogies with the houses where you play some games for money. So that is Bitcoin. Again, we're at the bottom of the range, we're ranging, nothing happened. And it's important to look at fear and greed index. And we were in the fear territory for the last, since October 10. Since October 10th, since the biggest liquidation that happened thanks to Binance and thanks to their smart way of pricing some of the collateral with the Ethena and not using the oracles. Since that moment we're in fear, and it's not surprising because everyone was expecting alt season, but it got canceled on October 10th. It got canceled, and it seems that today, with this huge exploit with the balancer, we might be in the second inning, in the second wave of the negative news that might send fear and greed index lower into the, maybe even touch the extreme fear. Let's see how it's going to play out. But for now, just by looking at the index, you can see that we went lower, then we went a little bit high, not the same level high, and again a little bit lower. We can just do like basic analysis. This is reverse head and shoulders. You can see this is first shoulder, this is second shoulder. So I would not be surprised if we start going up from here, and the worst things would be already behind us. And just by looking at the gray line, which is the Bitcoin price, we are just at the bottom, and people get scared when price gets closer to the bottom because it looks like, oh, we're going down. And that's, again, that's the moment when, even though it's scary, but that's when you need to be the contrarian, and in trading it pays to be the contrarian. You place your you can I cannot say the word you place in that whole phrase, but that's when people buy. That's Bitcoin. Let's check Ethereum. ETH. Same. We have these weeks, and so far we haven't broke them. The 3700 is still there. That's the level. And the next one would be 2800, marked by from previous streams. But even though it's very depressing right now, and it seems like, okay, everyone is out, the CT is dead, and everyone is depressed, things are not that bad. Bitcoin trades above 100K, Ethereum trades at 3700. Just this year, would you believe if I'll say that just this year it was trading at 1500? So it's still super, super high. And the problem is everyone was overexposed in altcoins and got wiped out on October 10th if they were using leverage. And then people are getting, losing their money trading meme coins. So that's why it felt like very rough. But if you have certain amount of money stashed in more safe strategies, maybe it's just locked in Bitcoin and locked in Aave, or locked in Ethereum and locked in Aave, and you're just borrowing against that, that would be, or maybe you're using some of the vaults like Hyperliquid Vault, where you can just earn money, or a GLP from Jupiter, where you can just earn money from the trading fees and not worry about where the direction of the market goes. It's just 10-20% per year stable. And a lot of people wanted to do that strategy with Balancer, and it got hacked, unfortunately. So that's Ethereum. Again, just bouncing on the support line, even though this engulfing, it's not engulfing, but its big body candle looks scary. And there is actually a pattern in trading with you have one bearish candle, three green ones that do not go higher than the previous bear candle close. That would be the opening. That would be the opening, and then another candle. That's a bear structure. However, we don't know how this day gonna play out, and this might be just a week. This might be just 1, 2, 3, 4. This might be fifth week for today, because usually on what I feel that when there is a breakout, we just get a big candle, big price movement, kind of like what we had on October 10th. You see, we were right here and we just wicked out down, and it was quick, fast. And then we open the chart, you already see like the price hanging out outside of the range. And right now we haven't left the range, and that's why I'm not betting too much. Again, I cannot use that word on the price going down. Solana. Solana is a little bit more aggressive than, you can see how we go down the risk curve or up the risk curve, because we're increasing our risk. And from Bitcoin to Ethereum to Solana, and Solana seems to be at the end of the previous weeks already, so even closer to the breakout, but still hasn't broke out yet. And maybe when the US market will wake up, we will have that drastic big move down, but so far it hasn't happened yet. And we also can look at the liquidation heat map to see if there was any liquidity built up, but we're not going to do it now because this is not about technical analysis. We're going to talk more about what's been happening last week and how we are starting this week. And the first news is the Balancer exploit. $116 million left Balancer. So what is Balancer? It's a DeFi protocol where you can create custom pools. In the other protocols that Balancer is similar to is Uniswap and Curve. However, on Uniswap, you can only create equal pools 50-50, and the innovation in Balancer was that you can create weighted pools, let's for example 70-30 or 80-20, and that helps you to avoid impermanent loss. If you earning money in fees, but then the uh, assets that you deposited into the pool might be losing value. And if you have weighted pool, then for example 80-20, and then you chose the 20 be more risky asset, and that started to go in value, you're not losing that much because again it's weighted, so you're less exposed to the loss of that asset. So that was Balancer. They started a while ago. It's coming from 20 back in 2020, at least that's when DeFi Llama goes as far, and this shows you how much total value locked in Balancer, and the peak was in 2020 at the peak of the DeFi craze, and since then it's been dropping. It's always important to look at these charts for TVL in the native token. In this case it's Ethereum, because if we look just in USD value, there will be too much fluctuation because people lock Ethereum in that protocol. And so we switched to Ethereum, and just 2 years ago in 2023 there were already 2 exploits, 2 hacks, but only 500 and I believe 500,000 and 600,000 were stolen from those hacks. And you can see that it didn't affect much the total value locked. However, it caused a downtrend and people started to withdraw money slowly. And right now it's been kind of found its support, you might say, but it's been trending on the downside for sure. And the last reading of the TVL for Balancer was 678 million. So imagine out of 678 million, 116 were lost right now and stolen, which is roughly 17% of the TVL. Like, Balancer hasn't experienced anything like that, and it's going to be a big blow to the protocol and to the DeFi system in general, because we have all these events. We have the liquidation event for the traders. Okay, so that's the traders, and other people in crypto might say, okay, who cares? They're just gamblers. We are doing very safe things here. We are doing stable coins on this DeFi protocol, and the only risks we have is some exploit, but this is an old protocol and everything was already tried and it's very strong. However, those risks are still there, and look what's happening with 2025. The protocol is 65 years old and there is still exploits available. And it just shows you how in crypto you can lose money in so many ways. Your wallet can be drained, you deposit it into the exchange and your key is not your crypto if it's centralized exchange, and the exchange goes belly up in the case of FTX. And then there are protocols, there's Terra Luna, and Balancer is another example how risky crypto is, and still a lot of these strategies are very risky. So you need to adjust, and your yield or whatever strategy you're trying to achieve need to take consideration the risks that also present in that strategy. Balancer also had a token, or they still have a token, and that is a governance token, BAL, and of course it's dropping now. If we open, so the attack started to happen at 1 a.m. East Pacific time, and that when 4 p.m. in West Coast. So of course everyone is sleeping in US, and the people haven't woken up yet to those news, and it started to drop. So far, should we count from here? So it dropped 9%, and I would not be surprised if 6 a.m. when people start waking up, we're gonna find Balancer might be very, very low. Definitely filling in this week. And if we zoom out to see, oh, these previous lows were just in April 2025. So we're definitely gonna visit those lows. That's another 14% from here. Yeah, that's Balancer. A little bit more about Balancer for myself wasn't familiar with Balancer. Is one of the main assets that were drained were WETH, OSETH, and WSTETH. Those are, my understanding is those are wrapped tokens that you receive when you stake your ETH somewhere, and then you receive those staked tokens, and then you can restake them one more time. And that was the most popular strategy on Balancer, was these weighted pools with those wrapped ETH and OSETH and WSTETH. How the exploit was conducted is it was conducted using flash loans. Flash loans are uncollateralized, and they need to be paid in the same block on the blockchain. So they're very fast. It's not something manual. It's not like you go and you receive the loan, for example, like you do on Aave. There is no, it's all programmatically. And you can, the reason why they are uncollateralized, because they need to be returned on the same block. So it's very quick. And this exploit is popular for DeFi. When people try to hack DeFi, is they borrow these flash loans, and then they interact with the vulnerable Balancer V2 liquidity pool, the one that involves ETH variants like WSTETH and OSETH. The faulty check fails to properly verify the post-transaction state. This lets the attacker overdraw the pool by simulating inflated balances, draining more assets than deposited. It's similar to past AMM exploits, like in 2020 Balancer incident with the deflationary tokens, but amplified here by cross-chain V2 forks. So since 2020, Balancer implemented this version 2 pools, and unfortunately they were cross-chain, and it's an open source V2, so other chains could connect to Balancer, and for other chains it's beneficial because now they can have the additional liquidity that people deposit into Balancer to run their strategies. But other chains connected to Balancer using their through their V2 pools, and that increased the hack. Now the assets that were stolen, because they were also stolen from different chains. But the main chain, of course, was Ethereum. That would be like more than 90% of the tokens were stolen from Ethereum, because they were those wrapped ETH tokens. The stolen assets, primarily ETH wrapped tokens, are swapped or breached to the attacker's wallet in the same transaction. The flash loan is repaid using a portion of the profits, leaving the net gain, 116 million so far, in attacker's control. So they borrowed money, they deposited to the pool, there is some exploit, the faulty check fails to properly verify the post-transaction state, and then they take the money out, and then the pool didn't price correctly the pool didn't correctly price the assets that were deposited, and the attacker is able to remove more money than they deposited. They pay back the loan, and then they profit. And if they do it, they did it in a way that they profited $116 million, which is again 17% of the total value locked in the protocol. As I was researching this, how the attack was happening, I also found out that there is Nexus Mutual, which is an insurance for those people who run those DeFi strategies. And if you buy this insurance, you can secure the money that you deposited into the protocol. Now, this is separate from Balancer. It's a third-party protocol, and it's just like insurance on chain, where they also have their coin, and you need to pay premiums for your insurance. And if you were pricing in those risks and you bought this insurance, then you will be able to recover your money because the insurance will pay for you. But I also research, and Nexus Mutual has roughly 97% and 95% of the DeFi insurance market. However, out of all the people, it's still very early, and not many people use insurance for their as part of their DeFi strategy. So probably no more than 5 to 10% of the stolen money will be recovered through the insurance. So Nexus Mutual is a leading independent DeFi insurance protocol. They have 200 to 400 million total value locked, where members of the pool have an XM token to cover smart contract risks like hacks. It's popular among DeFi whales, but niche due to KYC. So unfortunately, you need to do KYC with Nexus Mutual. Less than 1% of DeFi users are insured, and roughly 5 to 10% of victims will have Nexus coverage. Claims are community voted, so if something happened, the money was stolen, then you need to go in and you need to vote with your NXM token and say, hey, I actually lost this money and I would like to get the payout from this big pool, the insurance pool. Out of 116 mil, maybe just a fraction will be recovered through those strategies of basically just making sure that you insure your DeFi strategy. That's Balancer. This was the Nexus Mutual here. Well, another thing what's happening right now is Polymarket is everywhere on the news. They just raised at 10 billion valuation, so they have all this money. So now a lot of money coming into the marketing. Polymarket competes with Kalshi. Both of them are prediction markets, and more markets are being created. And one of the markets that is popular right now and get a lot of attention is whether a person going to say certain words or not. So Coinbase had a earnings call, and there were a bunch of markets created for whether Brian Armstrong, the CEO of Coinbase, will pronounce certain words. So here, that's the and because there are a bunch of earning calls happening right now, you can see that these markets were created for Snowflake, for Amazon, for Dell, and people, it's kind of like safe bet because a lot of those things are.
On that, I was a little distracted because I was tracking the prediction market about what Coinbase will say on their next earnings call, and I just want to, add here the words Bitcoin, Ethereum, blockchain, staking, and Web3 to make sure we get those in before the end of the call.
Yeah, so you can.
All right, well, we've taken all of our questions. That's it for today. Thank you.
You can see how it wasn't a troll. It's just everyone is aware of these prediction markets now, and the links are being sent to those people, and it's so easy for them to just try, I don't know, just do something with it. Another aspect, another news with that related to that was Sam Altman saying he was on TBPN.
Don't worry about the ticker. I don't think we're including. I don't think any of
different every few days. Man, I'm watching this Polymarket ticker go by, and it's so tempting to like say things to.
Yeah. To be clear.
So he decided not to say those words, but again, everyone is watching it real life, and those are not some those are tech entrepreneurs, so they are more free with what they can do, and they are not just saying what the PR team told them. They have personalities. They are founders, both Sam Altman and Brian Armstrong. Those are not some CEOs that were appointed by the board with MBAs. So they know that there are people out there waiting, just like people bet on sport events and expect their team to win. People do trade now these prediction markets, whether people gonna say or certain things or not. So very interesting dynamics with the prediction market. And what's makes me think more about what I'm thinking about prediction markets is there was nothing new invented in the technology of the prediction markets. Like, you had sport betting before, and then you also could bet on whether there will be certain temperature, and you can buy some contracts based on that. And actually, the second biggest competitor to Polymarket is Kalshi, and the difference between Polymarket and Kalshi is Kalshi doesn't have a blockchain. So in Polymarket, you have everything is on chain, the events get resolved, and the payouts are being sent, and you trade against other people. So you deposit money, and someone else deposit money for yes, that you deposit money for no, and then you trade against each other. On Kalshi, you trade against Kalshi as a platform, and the markets, my understanding, they are created by the Kalshi themselves, and they are actually registered with the CFTC to provide those contracts, because at the end of the day, those are derivatives, those are contracts that you can trade. And so my point is that this technology already existed. I mean, Polymarket didn't exist. The whole aspect of it being on chain didn't exist. But in general, these prediction markets, they existed. And right now there is a lot of marketing and attention going into the Polymarket. However, I think it's a little bit exaggerated, and because there is, in my opinion, there was no new technology or breakthrough technology or a platform being built. As a product, it's amazing. It's very interesting to interact with, but only if you enjoy this predicting certain events. Like, will he say this, or will he not say this? You're not gonna have a windfall of winnings, because most of the time people try to stay safe on the safe side. So that's another aspect of prediction market, is that we're not gonna hear stories of someone making millions of dollars on Polymarket unless they do it for a living. For example, in meme coins, we had those events because you look at the chart and you can see, oh, if someone entered here, if someone tweeted at this point, or maybe they made a call in their community, in their Telegram or Discord, in a Discord servers, and then they exited at this point. So you can see how they made 100x, 200x. With prediction markets, that doesn't exist unless you bet on something very, very rare, something like Jesus coming in 2025 and it's December 31st. So the chances of Jesus coming are like, I don't know, 1 millionth, and he still comes in and then you win. So unless you can, of course, there is a strategy of just choosing those very, very rare events, but just putting very small amount of it, maybe cents, and then something will come out and maybe it will play out, but you need to choose so many of them. Yeah, that is Polymarket and Kalshi and prediction markets and all these CEOs just playing around. But people also have now an incentive to watch those earning calls, and imagine if the earning calls will become like games, the NFL and NBA games, where people have not only they are listening for the information, for maybe you want to know what's next strategy for Coinbase, but you also invested into what they're gonna say. And there is a very big chance that Coinbase, as an exchange, they will introduce some form of the prediction markets, and will allow prediction markets to be traded on the exchange. Maybe they already started. I haven't researched on that topic, but the fact that Brian Armstrong, he interacts with this product, that's already hints that they're at least looking into that direction. Another thing that happened this week, which was when? This was 3 days ago, is South Park episode came out where they launched a meme coin. Let's watch it.
Stan, what are we doing? What do you mean, dude? We're trying to change things. By selling cryptocurrency? What's wrong with trying to make a little money while also pointing out the things wrong with our town? Yeah, what's wrong with that? I have to do something, Kyle. I'm 9 years old and I live in a retirement home. And you really think crypto is your way out? Do you even know anything about how that stuff works? Well, actually, we have a really strong crypto advisor. Your cousin on the East Coast. My cousin? I'm big! Alright, looks like we've got a lot of movement on your
Look at that. Look at that presentation that they did. Is how many times you've seen this allocation map, the diagram. They even put that, and this rainbow, it resembles the rainbow chart that often being shown for Bitcoin, the price movement, and like the rainbow chart where everything goes. That's immediately what I thought when I saw this.
Coin boys, the pre-sale really popped. We cleared up
On the door it says crypto advisors.
100 grand in volume before liquidity even locked. The tokens really got traction, and we don't.
The tokens is really got trenching, he says. I don't know who's advising them with this episode, but the coin doesn't go trenching, right? We are in the trenches. It's a little bit not correct use of terminology, but we will give them a pass.
You never have to pay anything, right? Nope, you never pay anything. You guys created the coin, so all you do is profit from it. See, I told you. That's what the answer, dude. Now we just need to keep creating hype around the South Park Sucks Now digital coin. So we need to come up with things to give people FOMO and make them ape even harder. You guys, this isn't about a coin. It's about a movement. Oh, that's really good. Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah, this guy looks awfully a lot like Sam Bankman-Fried.
This isn't about a coin, it's about a movement. Yeah, that's some savvy jujitsu right there.
I don't know why
so what kind of time frame are we looking at to get our money? I need it as fast as...
Well, Sam Bankman-Fried doesn't wear round glasses.
Few days. Once we pump the coin high as it'll go, then I can register for an MSB with the federal government. The federal government? That sounds hard. Oh no, it's gonna be easy. The crypto...
So they aired this episode, and the name of the token was South Park Sucks. The ticker is SPSN, and immediately it went to 7 mil. It had very clean range after that, and unfortunately it broke down. You can see this looks a lot like Ethereum chart right now, right? With 1, 2, 3, 4, and then fifth touch was the one that broke it. And that's what I'm talking about. When the range is lost, usually it's lost very abruptly in a one candle. And you can see that like this candle, it went down immediately. So when you would open this chart, and this is 15 minutes chart, so each candle is 15 minutes, the price would be already out of the range. And unfortunately, this coin, I think, had all the potential. There are 6,000 holders of it, had all the potential to go much higher, because South Park, it's a mainstream thing, and the DGen people and the people who watch South Park, I think there is a big overlap. A lot of people who trade meme coins, the 25-year-old, 30-year-old, 35-year-olds, they grow up watching South Park, and it's such a big cultural thing. Meme coins are just getting, because for them, they need to make jokes that are relevant to their audience. And somehow they decided that, okay, meme coins is something that people engaged with, and the number of people is big enough for people to relate to this joke, because it wasn't like just in a passing when they mentioned it, right? They had a full segment about it. Unfortunately, token went down in price. However, there is it's very good mematics behind this South Park Sucks coin, because it's already a cartoon, so that means you can have animated characters, and you can have the NFT collection based on the South Park, and you have the physical people who are creators of South Park. So whoever can control the supply of the South Park Sucks coin, they can be sending that coin to the creators. They can be trying to draw some attention somehow to the asking for the creators to make an update maybe in the second episode about this coin. So all of those dynamics, they are possible, and I think there is a potential in this coin. However, it did drop already from 4 mil to 1 mil. So that's South Park Sucks coin. And there was a Halloween this last week, and the second person in the US government, JD Vance, the second most important person, he posted this picture in a wig, which is in the same image that's used by the Please meme. And this is the Please meme. Just it's same, just a little bit chubbier cheeks. And I like Please meme coin a lot because the coin that was launched by the president, it was a celebrity coin. And all celebrity coins, they are scam because they are the worst version of the meme coins because they are celebrity coins. All the supply is already locked by the insiders, and it's already distributed to the insiders, to the inner circle. And then when it's launched, of course it dropped. First it pumped, then it dropped, and it's not going anywhere now. However, the Please meme was launched organically. There was a meme after he was talking with Zelensky, after the president was talking with Zelensky, and JD added that to the Zelensky, he said, "You have to say please," referring to the Ukraine-US politics and how the money are being sent to the Ukraine to help Ukraine. And so he said, "You have to say please at least once." And people created this meme of JD being a little boy. Let's actually pull it up. Please meme. Yeah. So that is the best example of how a meme can form. It's organic, it's funny to some people, but there is humor in it. Like, it might not be funny to you, but you can understand what's the humor behind it. And it was not launched by the people. It wasn't launched by JD. It was launched by the people, and people start buying it. And after he posted for the Halloween this image, the price for the token, and it collapsed a lot and went down by 90%. And because of that picture that he posted, the token shot up to 100%. Yeah, if we want to measure all the way to the top, 115%, basically 2x, and corrected down already. That is meme coins, that is Please, and let's see what's popping right now in the trenches. Let's go into the trenches. Need to open the right simulator. So Pumpkit is one of the few coins that were launched in the last month because the activity on meme coins was very low. The volume is not there. A lot of people went to Polymarket. We have Thread Guy being sponsored by Polymarket, and more of the news from the previous meme coin people are start to be discussed, the Polymarket news. And Pumpkit is one of the few that launched in the last month and reached more than 1 mil valuation. And the idea behind it is a project coin, and you can play small games on the Pump Fund streams. So you log into the stream, and then in those streams the chat can participate in a small game, like a small arcade. So that's Pumpkade, and I believe we did the research on that. What's the allocation and distribution of the token? You can find it on our account. Ace Data Cloud, the smart choice of digital services, 24%. Sounds extremely boring, but you know what? Pay AI was extremely boring, and I was looking at Pay AI. Look at this, shot to 11 mil. Was it? Oh yeah, it was rugged all the way down the liquidity pool, 40k, and from 40k to 12 mil. What was the reason for this pump? Someone came in and bought a huge chunk. Are they using X402 payments for the agents? Docs dev, Ace.cloud. Let's see what the dev says. GitHub followers ranking top 500 globally. My book. Copies in China. Why is he shilling his other stuff? Ace.cloud is deployed and I'm verifying the production environment now. Okay, they already support the Ace token on the platform. What does the platform do? That's the question. Some AI infrastructure. So what's interesting is now, I mean, it's a narrative right now, the X402 payments, the small micro payments over the HTTP protocol. You just plug it into your project. If you had any payments project, you start mentioning it, and here you have it. From 40k, basically there was no one doing, maybe even holding, well, there are always someone who's holding the token, went all the way to 12 mil. And that's why I was thinking, I was suggesting that the team behind NilaBot also just mention that they are doing X402 for some way or another, and the token will just pump. Because you need to write those narratives. The dev has only 112 posts. So keep this in mind. And when was the account created? Account created in January 2016, so a while ago. I wish we find the description of the project. Someone saw some sneak peek video. I don't think you're ready. Okay, that's a regular bull post without any proofs. Someone saw something. Damn, this person snapped the screenshot when it was 1.6 mil. I hope they bought it because it went to 11. So far just traders discussing and bull posting. 11 years in AI software, top 250 GitHub dev, author of Python book, endorsed by Python's creator, 150,000 sold. US company just registered. What's the name of the company if you know that it's registered? Yeah, that is Ace Cloud something, Ace Data Cloud. from 11 mil to 5. That was pretty quick. George plays Clash Royale. We did a research on that. It's good that the market cap stays high because there was a lot of incentives and that George does with his token, and he works with the community and the community grows, and it's a good project. It's definitely not a rug pull. It's not a one time. You can see very few projects right now are above 40 mil. You have projects like Mudang and some other big names that are much lower than 40 mil. Little bits, we saw that. Cap, we saw. Play pin 4 hours ago. You don't want to mess and expose yourself to unnecessary drama. Play pin on bags is straightforward, giving you royalties. Oh, the bags launchpad is back. Community post. Willing to donate fees once the CTO fees are transferred. Let's see, what's the narrative here? Natalie from Playpin announced their victory at the Y Combinator Halloween Hackathon, showcasing a wearable AI companion called Joy that utilizes a modular architecture to achieve on-device personalization through small models. The device integrates open source tools from sponsors like Hyperspell. So it's a news token. They definitely, these people did not launch this token. It's just a news token. It came out and the token was launched. This coin is vamped by rapid launch. Avoid vamped coins. So it's a vamp apparently, but give us the original address then if it's a vamp. I guess because it's on bags, the trading fees, they go into the token, to the device creator, whoever like this girl on the picture was. Is that Natalie? Is that her name? Yeah. So probably to this handle all the profits goes. Bags has a product market fit, honestly. No other product, Pump Fund doesn't have that technology, Bonk doesn't have it. It's specifically for bags where you can engage with Twitter people and direct trading fees to go to a specific Twitter account. AI Labubus. So these are the...
Hey there, what's up?
Do you remember me?
Of course I remember you now. We had such fun talking about food and family last night. How's your dad doing?
He's doing...
Nice to meet you, because they're so majestic.
That looks
Hello,
extremely
Joy.
boring.
It's nice to meet you. I guess I like turtles a lot.
I don't know
Turtles? That's adorable.
what's amazing about that and who will need that. It looks like a piece of... Okay, I will spare them. Sui Botics team. Sui. Are they part of the Sui? I don't think they're part of the Sui. Interconnected world on physical embodied AI companions.
Slow and steady wins the race, right?
Slow and steady wins the race. Also announcing the first ever Robot Rumble tournament experience, our Sui Overflow 25. No, they do have, are they part of Sui? Oh, they are, look at this. Check out what we built, real robots controlled through Sui network. Robot Rumble GG. Is that like robots fighting? How to vote? Go to vote Sui.io. Connect vote. Exploration track. Pick Sui Botics. Submit a vote. Sui overflow. So they are building on Sui, or they somehow connected to Sui, right? But the meme coin is on Solana. Sui is super fast. It's just liquidity and infrastructure and culture is not there. The meme coin culture, not on Sui. But Sui would be great for meme coins as well. And they do have their own meme coins. The Yeti meme coin. Yeah, but it just shows you how sticky Solana meme coin community is. Because if you want your token to go high, you need to deploy on Solana. OBEX engine is a formally specified Sybil deterrent. Oh, we saw that. All will retire 10 months ago. AI generated image, already don't like that. But 1.6 mil. The chart looks bad because we just broke out from the previous support line. ZK sea level. There was a research we did on our account, so you can read about it. Oh, it's actually doing really good. Let me see. I think like, did we have it in here? No. PayAI network. ZK sea level. No, we don't have it. Too bad I didn't buy it back then. Oh, I just refreshed. Shouldn't refresh. Okay, ZK sea level. I mean, it's already pretty high. Yeah, a bunch of mumbo jumbo in the description. I don't know who's reading all of that. But the token is pumping. Dexter AI is an ambitious crypto-native AI platform focused on bringing the bleeding-edge experience of agentic automation to all crypto users through novel interfaces beyond the command line. I want to be part of this agentic revolution and go beyond the command line. Swap and research tokens using X402 powered agents on X, ChatGPT and Claude, available now. So you pay to the agent for them to research the token. Submission for Coliseum. Coliseum is the main Solana hackathon. Consumer product. Let's support them in their ten different facilities. What does facilities means in the context of X402? X402 scan that's, I assume, some resource where you can. Okay, they are partnering with PayAI network. Dexter voice app, Dexter on X. So there is an agent. 400 followers, for almost 500. Let's see how many tweets. 481 posts. So he's not posting too often, I guess. I just topped up your Dexter wallet with, okay, so similar to Nyla, you need to create a wallet on Dexter, and you can do it, I assume you can do it with the Twitter, with tweets. I feel like the music is too loud. Yeah, so this is Dexter AI. Average conversation 10 turns, 8 agent replies, and 2 tool calls. Average cost is 14 cents per session, paid seamlessly behind the scene by your Dexter agent from its wallet. But who is paying whom? Six were newly rewarded today for doing so. Okay, they're just reporting on their interactions with the people and users. So they do some rewards for linking your ex to the Dexter wallet. How is it different from all the other agents or money transferring agents? Dexter, MCP server, facilitator. Branch manager 69. Dev. Okay, we found the dev. Branch manager.sol. How many tweets? 5,000 tweets. Okay, so this account is not it's not a fresh account. So the creator, not creator, but maybe Shafu is the dev behind PayAI network, and these are the facilitators. Basically, those are the protocol, the projects that are using X402 payments. Do we have Daydreams, PayAI? So we know PayAI, Dexter, Our Cloud, CodeNote, QuestFlow, Third Web. We know Third Web, Corbit, Echo, Mogami. Yeah, so this is Dexter. Narrative is X402 payments and agent who earns or pays those using that protocol. Neo 1x companion. That's just like the Grok and Gork meme coins were. I'm not enjoying it. I don't want to hold this in my wallet. It's a news token that is definitely a daily runner. Monke 4 months ago. That's an old one as well, and it's kind of found its support. Look at that. That's perfect. Went all the way down, found the bottom, and already had higher high. And will it continue having higher low? That's the question. At 700k. Someone who was behind Monke? I feel like 1KOL was really pumping Monke. South Park sucks now, so we had the news about it, and here it's on Apin. You can buy it and hold it on Apin. 43% is behind the top 10 wallets. X4Pay, world first decentralized physical network machine layer for X402 tap to pay. Looks like it's already rugged. Anyone who mentions 402, this is a utility token for powering this network, not a financial investment or security. If you launch a token on Pump Fun, it's really hard to have it as a utility, because for utility tokens, you need to control the emissions, you need to control the supply, you need to have maybe certain aspects in the token, maybe trading fees, payouts. You need to have some pool from where you will be sending out the token, if it's a government's token, if it's a utility token. And for Pump Fund, all the tokens are immediately sold unless you secure like 20-30%. But then that pool, if you secure 20-30%, you're gonna deplete it at one point, and then you will have to migrate. So certain projects, maybe they will choose, but my point is, like, there is not that much utility in behind. It's very hard to put any utility for a token that's launched on Pump Fund. So dev is also doxed. Abhinav builds. Joined in August 2025, like 3 months ago. Only 111 posts. So this account doesn't have a lot of value. But if you like the project, you can follow and see for yourself whether you like it or not. 43% again. Well, 43% behind top 10 wallets. It's possible that it's because they secured big supply. WeChat Doge. It's like WeChat added this emoji and it looks like Doge. I think that's the narrative. It's an old one. Pump Fund Pepe. Everything is green. The Pepe is green. The percentages are green. The chart is green. We like when things are green. We don't like when the coin went down from 6 mil to 2 mil. Bridge 402, enabling AI agents by bridging Web 2 APIs to Web 3 with 402. Are they like bridging Stripe into Web 3 with 402? When did they launch? 10 hours ago. Launch on Sunday. That's an interesting move. Maybe team has 14%. Coinbase have 16%. So that tells us that the devs or insiders are probably from US. The wallets linked to Wintermute market making bot have 10%. How does I'm always was wondering, how does a token that was launched 10 hours ago, right, already has Wintermute market making for them? Here's the dev. Oh no, that's not a dev. That's a project. Project Twitter. Joined November 2025. 3 days ago they joined. How many tweets? 26 posts. Even some people that I follow already. What's the narrative? The pinned post for any project should be the demo, the description. That is the most important tweet that people will see. Discussing some UI things. Where is the product? I don't know. I don't know where is the product. No description, no information. This will retire, we saw. Dark Eclipse, we saw. House coin, need the people. Feed the people. Turns every trade creator's reward into meals for people across Los Angeles and worldwide. So that is the narrative of farming for attention through the streams and funneling those fees into something in real life. We live stream every drop so you see your flips feeding the streets. Cody the Pomeranian, did the research on it. Oh, the chart looks horrendous. That's another for the George plays Clash Royale, or what was the name of it? His token holds 40 mil. This token from 47 mil went all the way down to 7 mil. Is that a cloud we saw? Meme Man 1 week ago. Polyfactual. Not an employment. George plays Clash Royale. That's the name. We saw that. We saw that. We did that. Alpha Arena. We did that. Cryptocurrency coin. 6 months ago. 3 million. The chart does not look good, but it did found its support, right? See, support right here, pumped, already exiting the price action of downtrend into the ranging, and that's a good for a coin. Need to dig deeper what's behind it and if there are community behind it. Unstable coin, we did a research, big community as well, and yeah, the price looks. And as well, found its support line. I think we'll wrap it up, guys. Thank you for tuning in, and I will see you in the next stream. And hopefully the balancer is not losing any more money now.